Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Curtis, and today I'm going to do a review for The Family Business, Season 6, Episode 1. The episode starts off with Brother Elijah, along with other members of the Brotherhood, looking at the minister's lifeless body. Brother Elijah tells the other men to leave so he can prepare the body, and so they do end up leaving. And then what he does is he actually gets a rag out of a bowl of water, and he starts to clean out the minister's body, and you can tell that he is very emotional. You can also tell that he wants to get some kind of revenge for what has happened to the minister. As Brother Elijah is cleaning off the minister's body, we see LC, we see Orlando, they have arrived at the building. And so Brother T does come in, he says, hey, I know that you wanted to, be alone, but LC and Orlando are here. Do you want to see them? And he says, you know what, the minister, Orlando, LC, they had great relationships. So out of respect for him, I will see them. Just show them to my office and I'll be there in a few moments. After this, we see Paris. She is walking into the family home where she is greeted by Nevada. She asks Nevada if he has seen LC. He says, I have not seen LC. She asks him if he has seen Curtis. He says, yes, Curtis is in the family room, but before you go in there, there's something I need to tell you. She completely ignores him and just walks into the family room. And when she goes inside, we can see that Rio is there, Nene is there, Curtis is there, and Roman is there as well. Paris is laser focused on Curtis, so she doesn't even recognize that Roman is there at first. And so she's just like, Curtis, I got set up. He was like, what are you talking about? What happened? She was like, yes, I got set up by Bobby. So she's getting ready to go into detail, but then she looks over and she actually notices Roman. And she's like, wait a minute, I feel like I know you. Where did I know you from? She was like, wait a minute. You were at one of Bobby's parties, which means that you must be one of Bobby's friends, which means that I need to pull my gun out, pointing at you, and I need to shoot you. And I said, wait a minute, hold on a second. Rio and Nevada, they basically grab her hand, so she still has the gun like pointed at him, but they pretty much have it in a way that she can't shoot. And she's like, listen, I do not trust him. I remember seeing him at a party. Listen, from what I know, Bobby doesn't just hang out with anybody. He doesn't invite randoms over. So if he was there, then he must be a friend. And then Roman's like, listen, we are not friends. We were just hanging out, but we're not friends. She said, bullshit. I do not trust you. If anything, you are guilty by association. It's at this time that Rio tells Paris that Roman is actually their brother. She's like, that's some bullshit. I did not believe it. He was like, listen to me. I'm telling you. He is our brother. We are triplets. He is one of us. I'm telling you. We go back to the building where the minister's body is being held. I believe they call it the Parish building. And we see that Brother Elijah is having a conversation with Orlando and LC. Orlando and LC are basically saying that we are going to figure out what happened. We're going to find the people responsible, and then we are going to take care of it. Brother Elijah's like, are you sure about that? Orlando was like, yeah, of course, we're going to take care of it. And Elijah's like, well, I'm not really sure if I believe you because one of the people responsible for the minister's death is your brother Junior. LC and Orlando, they are taken aback by this because they're just like, whoa, wait a minute. Are you sure about this? Do you have confirmation? When it comes to Brother Elijah, his patience is very thin. As I said a little bit earlier in this review, you can tell that he wants revenge and he wants revenge really quickly. So it's just like, look, I'm going to keep it real with you. In 3 days, we're going to kill Junior. So me, the Brotherhood, we're going to take him out. And I was just like, damn, he is really bold to be saying this in front of his father and his brother. Like, damn, bro. LC is just like, look, just give me some time. I just need to have, a few conversations with a few people to kind of figure things out. And so Brother Elijah is just like, you know what? You had a great relationship with the minister, so I'm going to give you some time, but don't think that you have all of the time in the world. And then he dismisses them. I was like, Brother Elijah, don't play. After this, we see Junior, we see Saya, they're in the bed and they're trying to fuck. But unfortunately, Junior, he's just not giving it his all. Like, he is like being super delicate. He is being super awkward. Like, he's not doing like he normally does. And Saya notices this. She tells him that he needs to fuck her the same way he did on their wedding night. And he's like, listen, I want to fuck you that way. But the problem is you are pregnant. I did not want to hurt the baby. And I just want to say something really quickly. So when it comes to women's bodies, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but they have this thing called the cervix. And so once they get pregnant, it actually closes. It's pretty much super tight. Your dick can't really get through it. So you're not going to hurt the baby if you have sex. That's just something I want to throw out there. We go back to the family house, and Rio is still trying to convince Paris that Roman is their brother. And so she's still saying this is some bullshit. I do not believe it. And then she looks over at Nene. She's like, Nene, could you please tell them that my mom did not have another child? And Nene is just like, look, there is a strong chance, a strong possibility that one of the babies was stolen at the time she gave birth. There is a chance. And she's like, I do not believe this. And then Rio's like, well, our mom actually believes this. And she was like, wait, mom actually believes this? And he was like, yes. And then Nene was like, listen, like it or not, this is probably your brother. And this is just something that you have to accept. That is your brother. We flash over to Elsie and Orlando. They're inside of a car, and they're having a conversation about what Brother Elijah said. And so Orlando is just like, are we really going to allow Elijah to kill Junior? Elsie is just like, look, I'm thinking about a plan. I'm trying to think of something right now. And Orlando's just like, well, we need to think quick because in a couple of days, not only do we have to deal with Elijah trying to come at Junior, we got to deal with all of the Muslims in the United States trying to come at the Junior. Like, they don't play. And Elsie is like, listen, it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to figure out something, I promise. But in the meantime, I need you to set up a meeting so I can see where everybody stands. We go back to the house and we see Nene, we see Charlotte, they're having a conversation. And Charlotte is saying that she feels like she failed Roman as a mother because she wasn't there for him. She wasn't able to protect him because, she had him. And then this nurse was able to pretty much just snatch him up, take him away from her, and she couldn't do anything about it. And so, of course, Nene is like, listen, it's not your fault. You didn't even know anything about it. Like, it's not your fault. Charlotte tells her that she believes that she could have given him a better life, a better experience, basically a better everything if, she was in his life. But then she goes on and saying, I thought this was funny. She said that she wishes that the lady that snatched her son up was still alive because she would have whooped her ass. And Nene was like, yeah, I do too, so I could have jumped in and helped you. I said, that is funny. While the two of them are having a conversation, we see Elsie and Orlando. They actually arrive at the house. And so Rio, Paris, and Roman actually rush up to them. And then Paris is like, Dad, can you please tell me that this is not my brother? Like, please tell me that this is not true. And so Orlando was like, of course that's not our brother. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, thank God. But Elsie is like, well, you know what? There is a chance that he may be your brother. Like, I'm going to be honest. There is a strong possibility. As far-fetched as it sounds, there is a strong chance that that is your brother. He goes on to say that Charlotte believes that Roman is her son. And so Orlando asked the question that I was asking. He was like, well, why can't we just get a DNA test? And then next thing you know, we hear Charlotte, because she overheard the entire conversation. She was like, we are not getting a DNA test. That is my son. I know he is my son. I mean, look at him. He looks just like me. He looks just like his father. Like, we are not getting a DNA test, and that is it. And of course, Orlando just walks off. We go back to Junior and Sonya feels like this is the perfect time to have a super deep, involved conversation. So she brings up the meeting that Junior recently had, and she tells him that she is a little bit nervous because the people that he was meeting with, they were talking about doing something to his family. Junior's just like, oh my God, like, do you really want to talk about this right now? We just had an amazing session. Like, let's just sit up here, enjoy one another, love on each other. Like, let's talk about something else. And she's just like, no, we can't because I'm afraid not only for myself, but also for our unborn baby. And he's like, listen, I love you. I love our unborn child. I love us as a family. But when it comes to the rest of them, I don't give a fuck about them. He tells her that when it comes to his family members, they are going to rot in hell once he finishes with them. And I was just like, well, damn, brother. But Sonya is just like, look, you cannot do anything to your family because if you do something to them, they're going to do something to me and our baby. Like, they are just as crazy as you. Like, you need to really think about it. Like, I need you to promise me that you are not going to do anything to your family. And he's like, look, the only promise I can give you is this. I'm not going to shoot at them unless they shoot at me. That's the only promise I can give you at this time. And I was just thinking to myself, like, Sonya, you sitting up here worried about his family. You need to be worried about the brotherhood because they're getting ready to be on his ass. So I'm just like, fuck the family. You need to be focusing on Elijah now because they're getting ready to come for your man. All right, y'all. So this was the part of the episode where there were a bunch of quick scenes. Like, all of the scenes were pretty much like 2 minutes long. There really wasn't a lot happening. So I'm just going to group them together just to make it easier to talk about. In the first scene, Niles tells Bobby to stay away from Paris or else. In the second scene, Elsie goes to visit Margaret's sister, where he does get confirmation that Margaret did steal the baby. And she tells him that the reason why Margaret stole the baby was because they already had enough kids, so she felt like they would not miss this one. I was like, damn, that's fucked up. In the third scene, Junior and Donna actually meet with Antonio and Dominique. Antonio and Dominique tell them that they want another body before anybody retaliates. But Junior's like, you know what? I actually have a better idea. In the fourth scene, we see Roman. He's having a conversation with somebody on the phone, and he says that he actually wants to leave because he doesn't have time for this Huxtable shit. And so he ends up leaving the house. Well, he ends up sneaking out of the house, if you will. And Orlando actually sees him. He's like, sneaky motherfucker, you better not come back. In the fifth scene, Roman goes to visit Lojek, and he says, you know what, when it comes to the Duckins, I heard that they were a certain way, but it appears that they are different ways. So from what I understand, they actually just own a car dealership. Everything's legit. The Low Jackets was like, listen, they are crazy, they are dangerous, they are the biggest drug dealers on the East Coast. Like, you need to be careful and wary of them because something could potentially happen to you. In the sixth scene, Roman goes to visit Coretta, which is Margaret's sister, and he is attempting to confront her about everything that has happened, but somebody knocks on the door, and so Roman does get up, he answers the door, and it turns out to be Vegas. And Vegas is just like, look, I see that you are having your little kumbaya moment here, but I just want to let you know I'm going to come here pretty much every single day until you agree to come back to the family house. And so Roman, he really does not want to go, but Margaret's sister Coretta, she's like, look, you don't have anything here but unanswered questions. Just go with Vegas. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. And so he does end up going with Vegas. So Roman and Vegas, they get into the car. Vegas, of course, is driving. And so as they are driving through the city, Roman notices that they are going in a different direction. So he's like, where are we going? And he's like, you know what? Since I am in Brooklyn, I feel like I need to stop somewhere. So I'm going to stop somewhere, take care of some business. I want you to come in with me just to see if you have my back. I mean, you do have my back, right? And Roman, he's kind of looking like, I'm not really sure. I don't really know. He's like, you do have my back, right? And so eventually Roman does agree. And so Vegas, he pulls a gun out. And then we see that Roman, he has a gun as well. And so it looks like it's getting ready to go down. Vegas and Roman end up going into the building, which I'm not sure if it was a casino or if it was like a makeshift casino, but we do see that there is a lot of money on the table. And so Vegas, he comes in, he's like, hey, I'm here to collect. And then this guy who refers to himself as the King of Brooklyn, he says without saying, like, basically, you're not getting shit. And then next thing you know, a shootout happens. Now, when it comes to Vegas, he is doing his thing. As you all know, the person who actually plays this character, I believe he's into martial arts, so I'm not really surprised to see that he's doing his thing when it comes to shooting and fighting. Now, when it comes to Roman, he starts out strong. He actually ends up killing somebody that was getting ready to kill Vegas, so that was good. But then he ends up getting tackled, and then he starts getting his ass whooped. I was like, Roman, what is going on here? And so the guy that's on top of Roman, because he actually gets on top of him, he pulls a gun out, points it at him, and he actually pulls a trigger, but there are no bullets. So he got lucky there. And then Roman, he reaches up, he punches him, he ends up knocking the guy out. But then next thing you know, the guy that refers to himself as the King of Brooklyn, he ends up walking up behind him and puts a gun up to his head. He tells Roman that he is going to kill him for killing his brother. But then next thing you know, Vegas actually walks up behind that man, puts the gun up to his head, and then he blows his fucking brains out. I was like, well, shit. And then as far as with Roman, you saw that smile. I was like, oh, he's just as evil as that family. And so Vegas and Roman, they end up walking over to the table. Vegas is able to get the money that's on the table, put inside of a bag, and then they both walk out. The episode ends with two quick scenes, so I'm just going to put them together like I did the last couple of quick scenes. So in the first scene, Roman, he does return back, and so him and Charlotte, they are able to have like a little one-on-one, a little heart-to-heart, and they are able to connect a little bit better. In the second scene, we see that Orlando was able to set up that meeting because remember, LC wanted to see where everybody stood. And while they are in the meeting, Orlando was just like, oh shit. And LC is just like, what? He was like, they got the trucks. He was like, what? And Orlando was like, they got the trucks. And then we look over and we see that Junior's people, they were able to intercept the truck. They go inside the truck and there's a lot of money there. And I was just like, this is not going to be good. And that was the end of the episode. I really appreciate you all watching. If you could, please like, comment, share, subscribe. That would be great. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.